Don't. See it?
Exposition can be a tricky thing. To the writer, it's a necessary evil, a rote but fundamental building block in the creative process, but one without which all but the simplest of ideas would remain locked away, uncommunicated to the viewer. But to that viewer, exposition is something to be endured. Lines of dialogue, if not entire scenes, where the unengaged check their phones and the initiated roll their eyes. As you know, Bob. Still, for all of its shortfalls, exposition is a medicinal pill needed for stories, at least any work elementally identifiable as a narrative, something with characters, backstories, plot, structure, arcs, themes, all of that. And that's great. But why does it suck? Well, it doesn't. Or it doesn't have to. There are various ways to sugarcoat this metaphorical pill, whether that's just having punchier dialogue that disguises the more base expository elements, cutting around all but the most required bits of it in the edit, or even just handing your 1, 2, 3 stock standard exposition to an exceptional actor and letting them have at it.
I don't look after the interests of the underprivileged. Maybe somebody else will.
A million more qualified folks than me can tell you all the do's and do not do's of writing exposition. What I am qualified to do, and what I'm here to do today, however, is to hyper-focus on something weird but relevant to the topic. That being what I think is one of the most cleverly masked scenes of exposition I've seen. This short little bit from Scream 2.
I don't get it. They get Tori Spelling to play Sid, and they cast Joe Blow Nobody to play me. At least you get David Schwimmer.
For a bit of context, Scream was a game-changing, meta-drenched whodunit slasher from 1996, directed by horror legend Wes Craven. Equal parts 90s teen melodrama, pre/postmodern quipfest.
No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel.
And brutal masked killer thrill ride, it was a huge hit. And you definitely already know that because the franchise is not only majorly popular, but it's still going. See Scream 7 in theaters, 2026. Scream 2 came out just a year later and presented the creative team with a creative challenge. How do you outdo yourself when you already reinvented the slasher wheel? How do you even do a sequel to something so sharp and genre savvy?
Who'd want to do that? Sequels suck. No, come on, man. Oh, please. By definition alone, they're inferior films.
Well, that's your opinion, but that there is your answer. You aim that whip-sharp wit at the new subject. In this case, sequels themselves.
Empire Strikes Back. Better story, improved effects.
Not a sequel, part of a trilogy completely planned.
And it is a good sequel. Great, in fact. It moves the story forward, gives old characters new arcs and challenges while adding new cast members, ups the body count, takes risks, brings us to a new setting, everything you'd want. But in spite of all that, the fundamentals are still the same as ever. And therefore, no matter how witty you are, you still gotta put some time aside for boring old exposition. Or do you? Okay, yeah, you do. I'm not claiming that the entire film's supply of exposition is contained exclusively in my one ultra-clever example, but you get my point. Or at least you will. Honestly, if you and YouTube copyright algorithms don't mind, I'm just gonna play the whole scene I want to talk about now, then break it down on the other side. It's only about 40 seconds, so I think we should be fine.
This is Tori Spelling, starring in the new film, Stab.
Let me go, Sid. I didn't do it. I'm innocent.
I know. Please.
Why won't you let me touch you?
Look, I've been going through a lot lately, Billy. And my mom...
Sid, I think you need to just deal with that and move on. I mean, when my mom left my dad, I accepted it. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Moms leave.
Yeah, your mom left town. She's not buried in a cemetery somewhere. My mom's dead and she's never coming back. Ever.
Stupid. Ooh, I love scary movies.
Immediately, I can think of 3 reasons why this 40 seconds works so well. Let's break it down like 1, 2, and then the exposition. First up and simplest, This scene is just funny. Satirizing your own movie less than a year removed from making it is such a wonderfully Wes Craven move. Every production element, the staging, down to the exaggerated hairstyling, to the only slightly altered, now bad script, just lives for this joke. And beyond just being an out-of-pocket self-roast, the second reason why this bit is so great is that, if you'll remember, it's actually very cleverly paying off a throwaway joke from the first Scream.
Hey Sid, just think, if they make a movie about you, who's gonna play you?
I shudder to think.
I see you as a young Meg Ryan myself.
Thanks, Dewey, with my luck they'd cast Tori Spelling.
This grants this entire TV interlude, which is really what it is in form, a 40-second interjection into a Dewey and Randy scene, a bit more depth, and justifies its place in the script. Now, about the exposition. Okay, last chance to get out unspoiled if you somehow still haven't seen Scream 2. Okie dokie. The second of the two ghost faces to be unmasked in Scream 2 is Debbie Salt, played by the irreplaceable Laurie Metcalf.
Dad's dead! He's dead! No! Dad! Dad! He's fine! He sends his love!
But who the hell is Debbie Salt?
Debbie Salt doesn't exist.
Okay, and why is that? Because Debbie, the local nosy cub reporter who inserted herself into Gale's investigation, and therefore into the plot, is actually...
Mrs. Loomis? What?
Billy's mother!
Yes. Billy Loomis, lead Ghostface, sorry Stu, from the original Scream's mother, back for good old-fashioned revenge, Pamela Voorhees style. And she's tons of fun in her rampage. Manic, funny, scary, and all-around solid Ghostface. But I guarantee you, if not for this scene 50 minutes earlier reminding the audience, even subconsciously, oh yeah, Billy's mother was a plot point, and oh yeah, she dramatically abandoned him, and oh yeah, that was a huge part of his motivation, the vast majority of viewers would have been left scratching their heads once she walked on stage. A more traditional screenwriter would have no doubt found a way to reintroduce this information to us, to give us our medicine to bring the metaphor back so that the plot beats make sense. Probably some uninitiated character, Joel makes the most sense given his role, would have been teed up to ask a question and voila. But writer Kevin Williamson saw that traditional approach to exposition and said he wanted to break some new ground. Thank you, Randy. But what I find most clever about this is how well hidden it really is. Scream movies love to talk, to joke, and to ramble about meta commentary and little bits of genre referential trivia. So why would you suspect anything more from this scene on the TV in the coffee shop? Especially when, like we said, it's both aping a scene and paying off a joke from the first movie. But to give it even more credit, this clip from Stab isn't just a transcript from the original scene. The dialogue here is actually greatly pared down, retaining just enough to set itself up, hand us off the necessary information about Mrs. Loomis, and exit, all while being purposefully hokey.
I'll wait for video.
But your first time around, you would never notice that. You just enjoy the bit, get a little smirk out of Luke Wilson, and move on. But now, the magician has planted the card in your pocket. In this case, Billy's mother.
When my mom left my dad, I accepted it. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Moms leave.
Without you even noticing. And that card won't need to be drawn until a perfect moment later, in the climax. Tricky, huh?